Welcome to the latest episode of Claw's Corner. Today's guest is a violinist, electric violinist, and vocalist. She has toured the world as a classical soloist and a chamber musician. As the winner of the Maccabeus Mutual Life Young Artist Competition, she has performed recitals at the White House for both Presidents Bush and Clinton. Some of the iconic stages that she has appeared on include Carnegie Hall, David Geffen Hall, Alice Tully Hall, Madison Square Garden, and Radio City Music Hall. She's performed with so many of the greats, which include Billy Joel, Barry Manilow, Johnny Mathis, Josh Groban, Paul McCartney, Steven Tyler, Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Roger Daltrey, Elton John, Whitney Houston, Metallica, Diana Ross, Joe Jackson, ELO, Led Zeppelin, and most recently Italian tenor singer Andrea Bocelli. Her desire for self-expression and frustration with exploitation were key factors in starting a solo career. With songs such as I Took It From Me, Nowhere, Dirty Delicious, Utopia, Why, You Move Me, Hurt Me, Supergirl, The Beginning, Just Like That, and my new favorite Christmas song, I Want to Make It With Santa. She will be on everyone's list of favorites. When she's not rocking the stage as a soloist or with a legendary performer, she can be heard performing on Broadway. Her credits include Wicked, The Lion King, Annie Get Your Gun, and Amazing Grace. Ryan Martin of Jazzercise magazine states that her electric violin solos are being heralded as the hottest thing to hit rock since Van Halen recorded Eruption. She's like the Jimi Hendrix of the electric violin, and her vocal style is vibrant and dripping with soul. She combines the artistry of Blondie with the raw power of Janis. It's my honor to welcome the extremely talented and versatile Susan Aquila to the Claw's Corner. Susan, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Off the air, you said, I don't know if we're going to be able to talk that long because my life really isn't that interesting. And I said, I think after the intro, you're going to beg to differ. I just have to say, I don't know how you did all of that and you're only 24 years old. It's amazing.
Oh, I wish. Yeah, right.
I do have one question for you because, I do want to talk about some of the people you've performed with. How were you like 6 months old when you played with Zeppelin? How did that come about?
Let me put it in a nice way for me. I'm definitely an old woman, but
Okay.
that's okay. Still rocking. That's all right.
Well, no. All right. Well, I'm glad you said that because I love seeing your Facebook post. Speaking of Facebook, we were talking about that off the air. You have so much energy. I was watching you with ELO. You're rocking the stage, jumping around, dancing. And then I see you with Andrea Bocelli. You're playing. You've got you have like the ultimate. Like you have the rock star presence and also the talent to back it up.
Thank you so much. Once the music gets going, I just go nuts. If they give me permission, and I was lucky, the orchestra starring ELO and former members of ELO actually told me, we want you to be free on the stage, and that was a gift.
Oh yeah. I don't know if they what they expected when they said, Susan, go free. But no, it's so much fun to watch it because like I always tell people when I go to a concert, if I want to hear the music exactly like it is on the album or CD or streaming now, I can just stay home. But I love watching the band get into it. I love seeing a show and watching you on stage. Doesn't matter if it's with Andrea, it doesn't matter if it's ELO, it doesn't matter with all these other musicians. I've seen you with, we're going to get in some of the videos I've been doing my research on, playing with the symphonies and orchestras. You make it fun, you make it interesting. And I want to say, because like I personally love classical music. I grew up loving classical. I think my first intro to classical music was probably John Williams. Listening to the movie music, and then that brought me to Jerry Goldsmith, John Barry, and then that brought me to like Mozart, Beethoven, all these greats. And unfortunately, maybe like some people are a little bit more closed-minded. People that like rock don't like classical. People like classical are like, oh my God, what's this rock and roll? I think you are the ultimate crossover artist, where you can combine the best of two, and they're like, say, wow, you know what? Let me check this out.
That was one of my goals, is because I love them both so much. When I'm playing classically, it's like the best thing ever. And then when I'm playing rock, oh, that's the best thing ever. How can we combine them, or how can we do both? And it's been a great joy because most music you can cross over.
Yeah.
And, the more you know classically, the better you'll do when you cross over to rock and stuff.
I always, when somebody ever says to me that classical is boring, I said, watch any movie without music and tell me how boring music is.
That's right. You nailed it. You nailed it. That's really true. And I think people have this idea, oh, classical music is when you're sitting, you have to sit quietly on, while the performer does their thing and it's boring because I have to just sit there and I have nothing to look at. But it's not really, well, that's not what it is. And that's never really been what it is, but that's how people depict it. But it's way more exciting than you think.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. So before we get into your past and where you are up to the present, I want to talk about some of the things that you've done very recently. I guess last year you dropped 3 music videos, an instrumental, a rock tune, and your first pop track ever, and your Christmas rock single landed on 2 Spotify playlists: "Groovy Christmas" and "Groovy Girl Christmas," "Groovy Christmas Girl Time." And then, as I mentioned, it's funny because we had this interview scheduled, and I had to keep updating it since we had to reschedule it because it's like, all right, this is what you did last. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, she did this. So most recently, as I mentioned, Andrea Bocelli, you performed in front of 20,000 plus at Madison Square Garden. And also, I'm so mad because I almost saw you twice. I live in Connecticut, and you played at the, I think it was called the People's Bank Arena in Hartford.
That's right.
Yeah. And I saw the billboard for it when I'm driving down I-84. I said, I want to check this guy out. I'm not even realizing that you were playing with him at that time. And for some reason, either work got in the way or I just didn't have the money, whatever it was, I didn't get a chance to go. And then I almost saw you, actually, I think with ELO, you started right after they played Connecticut.
Yes, that's right.
Because they played at Norwalk. And then I remember talking to you and I said, I didn't realize that you were with ELO. So before we get into how you got to this point, are you currently playing with either of them right now? Are you still with ELO or are you still playing with Andrea?
Andrea, that we just did the Christmas series,
Yeah.
so I've completed that and I usually play with him once a year. I mean, do a couple of shows at the Garden, and it's like my Christmas present to myself because I just love playing the Garden. I mean, the energy there is off the charts, so it's one of my favorite things to do. But the ELO, yes, we are going on tour, and I'm honored and thrilled that they've asked me, and we start in March.
Wow. All right. So you must have the best manager in the world getting all these gigs. I love it.
Yeah, most of it's word of mouth. Like, you do good jobs and then you hope that people recommend you, and it really has been that way for me.
All right. So I want to make sure, am I pronouncing your name correct? Is it Susan Aquila or is it Aquila? Aquila.
In this country, we say Aquila
Okay.
and Aquila in Italy.
Okay, so it's Susan Aquila.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Susan Aquila, the early years. How old were you when you first realized that you had an interest in music?
I I have to say I always knew, even when I was like 3 years old. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I knew I was gonna be a musician. It just knew right from the beginning. And then I had to go about making it happen.
It's very similar to, I'm sure you know the story, Mozart, where the father was wanting to take the daughter out because he thought she was a child prodigy. And he's 3 years old, he could barely make it to the piano. He starts playing, they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
When you were that young, where it was like, did you grow up listening to mostly, what did your parents get you into? Was it classical or did you listen to rock or a mixture of both?
I'm laughing because none of the above. I don't have musical parents. They don't
Wow.
listen to anything. And when I first started playing violin, they was the opposite of most parents where they say practice, practice. They were like, do you have to practice? Do you have to do that? I'll give you $20 if you stop practicing. Like they couldn't stand it.
So them telling you not to practice probably funded your first 3 albums because they're like, here's another 20, just shut up.
Let's write the therapy for 3 albums. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not saying
That's,
they were unsupportive, but they didn't understand it. They
yeah.
just didn't understand a musician's heart, and that they're driven to do it. You can't help it. It's who you are.
Well, it's funny. It's like years ago, my brothers and I used to be in rock bands, and we used to practice downstairs. And my parents were the same way. It's like, oh my God, are you going to be playing that shit again? It's like, yes, we are. Like you said, they were supportive, but they're like, no, please just stop.
Let's stop. Practicing isn't pretty. That's where you get all your dirty laundry out and you're repeating things. And honestly, I mean, kudos for them for putting it up with it for so long.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
So was violin the first thing you picked up?
Violin was first. It was the first thing handed to me, and I ran with it.
All right.
Sometimes I'm like, why, God, why? Because it's such a difficult instrument to master. But uh, it really did give me a great foundation in classical music and how to create a sound and melody lines. And it just, I'm glad that I got started with that. But the school, I went to elementary school and they handed me, this is what you're playing. So,
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, our elementary school really didn't do anything. We had the choir, the chorus, and that was about it. The musical department was kind of sparse where I lived.
yeah, I have to say I was very lucky. I had a very good music program where I was.
So, at that age, how old were you? Like around 6 years old when you
At
picked up the
7.
piano? So, when were doing that, is that when you started to develop a love for classical music?
Yeah,
Did that become
absolutely.
your favorite?
Absolutely. It was interesting because I grew up on Long Island and nobody really listened to classical music where I was.
Yeah.
Um, well, I was kind of the only one, but at home we would listen, my brothers would listen to rock and stuff, so I had the two worlds going on at the same time. So I think that's where it all started.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my father liked the classic rock and more of the just plain old rock and roll. My mother liked the pop stuff like the Carpenters, ABBA, and she more like the musicals and then the classical. So between the two of them, I had the best of both worlds where I found like a love for music because, as I mentioned before, I have so many friends, especially when I was in the metal bands. They put the blinders on. Everything was Metallica, Megadeth. And I was like, those guys are good, but there's so much more out there. And I think that a lot of people were, or at least my friends anyway, they're more embarrassed to admit that Barry Manilow was great or Tony Bennett rocks. People are like, oh, come on. Like one time I remember remember those old TV commercials, like, buy the best of the 70s or whatever. And you like, so $5 of, no, $50, but $10 installments or something like that. So we were practicing. I was like, oh my God, get that number. I want to order these CDs. And you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And like, no, Rich is actually serious. He likes this kind of music. I said, how can you not? There's so much more out there. I mean, I'm like that with everything, like movies, music, just everything. I love art. It's like I just don't want to limit myself to just one thing. So I love the fact that you put the
Exactly.
best of everything. So I think that also not only makes you a better musician, but makes you a more open-minded person.
I'll have to agree with that. Yes, I am. No, yeah, yeah. On the other hand, it has been kind of a marketing nightmare because,
Oh, I can imagine.
yeah, people don't know what to make of me. They can't get what I am right away, and so that has been difficult
Yeah.
to 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 kind of. But I keep thinking if I keep just posting everything I do, that people will put it together.
Yeah, and that's actually it's funny. That's how I found you because I don't know how I exactly became friends with you on Facebook, but I'm so glad I did. And I'm watching you go through all these different. I say, who is this? She is phenomenal. And I'm watching all these different things. And then finally, as I'm watching, I said, I have to have her on my show. She is amazing because I'm watching you do songs like Nowhere, which is really rock and roll. Then you're over there doing Crazy Train by the Sub, which I want to talk to you about because that is hilarious. Did people know that you were doing that like first were they filming it because looking at the faces of people getting on the subway like
No, they had no idea.
I loved it because you're
Legal
rocking
to
the
do
crazy
that.
train.
Yeah, I don't even think it's legal to do that. But I would just run down there and play really fast, and people didn't know what to do. They were jumping in the way, out of the way. The doors were closing. It was rush hour. Yeah, we laughed a lot making that video.
And I'm trying seen all your videos and I love your videos. And I think is it maybe Nowhere where you're also walking across the street during when the lights
Yes,
and was that planned as well or did you just like let's start filming because I was wondering like what the cars were thinking. So I think I'm guessing it looked like it was LA.
it was very good. It was LA, and yeah, I think they're kind of used to weirdos on the street, but I mean, we would wait for the walk sign and then go across and hopefully make it across the street before the light changed. But it was a little stressful. But I had a lot of fun making that video.
Yeah.
Wild.
When I was doing my research on you, I mean, in a matter of 15 minutes, I watched you go from Mozart to Bollywood to Van Halen to Crazy Trains, I mentioned, to Kashmir with an orchestra to The Freak by Chic in 10 minutes. It was great. How could, So, I mean, I guess the problem, like you said, is like trying to market you with one place, but they can market you in so many places where like one person might like this, another person's like, no, I love this. So you have like the best of everything. Everybody's coming to your show.
Yeah, yeah, it's just, and I just have to kind of, for each show I do, I have to, what is it going to be tonight? You
Yeah,
know, like try to make it a cohesive story that um, any listener would enjoy. So
yeah. All
that's
right.
the,
So, growing up, who is like for me? I think I mean there's so much in classical music, and I'm not really a connoisseur, so there's probably some people that I don't know. But I think my favorite is Mozart, just because he's so much fun. I like Beethoven was a little depressing, and you know why? Because the way he lived, growing up and then became deaf. But Mozart just was like a party animal, and you could just see it. It flows through his music. You could tell like he was having so much fun. So I think he's like probably my favorite. Well, for you, who was your favorite growing up, or do you have a favorite?
I definitely love Bach. Bach
Hmm.
to me is just, he was so prolific. Not that Mozart wasn't. Mozart was very prolific and he died young.
Oh yeah, like
Uh,
30, right? 31?
yeah, 35, 31. Yeah,
Yeah,
he might be.
yeah, 35. Wow.
Uh, Yeah, Bach wrote so much for the violin too, a lot of unaccompanied partitas and sonatas, and uh, I mean, if you left me on a desert island and asked me one composer, I would definitely choose Bach, even though Mozart's way up there, and of course my rock side likes Mahler,
Oh yeah.
that that huge, the huge show, the huge orchestra, the
Yep.
huge emotions. Uh, so yeah, those are, I would say, my favorite three composers.
And I could be wrong because I read a biography on Mozart years ago, but didn't Bach actually mentor Mozart for a while? I think that he trained like he. I could be wrong with that one, but I think that there was a connection between those two because he was older than Mozart, and I think that Mozart was working with him for a little bit.
No, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to do some research and see if that'd be really interesting if that was true.
Yeah, I could have
I
sworn it
thought
was.
it was Haydn, but or Handel. That was
Could
Handel.
be. Yeah,
Um,
like it's
but
been years.
yeah, I'll have now. I'm curious, so I will have to look that up.
Anybody watching this show, you can check it out too and let us know.
I let it know.
All right, so you're 6 years old. You're playing violin and become more and more proficient at it. Did you ever want to be anything else besides a musician, or did you know from that age when you started playing like this is what I want to do in my life?
I knew exactly, and again, much to the chagrin of my parents, they were like, "If you become a musician," my mother said, "you're gonna be like a gypsy. You're just not gonna, you know." And she was right.
Yeah,
It it's not an easy it's not easy to make a living as a musician. She was right, but there was no stopping it, and I was pretending for their sake that I was gonna do something else, but I knew.
so you ended up in Juilliard. I didn't even mention that in the intro. So, there
I
wasn't
did.
enough room on the paper to put that.
Yeah, that's where I ended up. I went to University in Texas first, but then I ended up at Juilliard at the end.
And so from Juilliard, did that give you a lot of connections and a lot of networking from there to put you on your way for your career?
Uh, it's true. I got to meet a lot of people, so it did help classically, but the rock thing started in such a funny way. I got asked to play the Trans-Siberian Orchestra in the little string quartet,
Yep.
and this when I got on stage and it was 30,000 people and it was silent. You could hear a pin drop before it started. And I thought, oh my God, the energy here is insane. And then the music is a perfect cross between classical and rock, and I was like, okay, this can be done. That was when the wheels started turning. Like this can be done. You can mix genres like that and
Yeah.
have it.
Well, it's funny because, like, I'm sure you know, I can't remember his name, but I know he's the guitarist from Sabotage, or one of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Because I think there's several, isn't there? There's like
Yeah,
two.
there's a West Coast and an East
Yeah.
Coast.
So, and I used to love in the '80s. There was the metal band Sabotage, and so when I heard that he was doing that, I said, "This is a perfect combination."
Yeah, then that's I bought an electric violin not too long after that. Not too long after that.
So that was what about 2009? I'm thinking.
Yeah, 2009 is I did I'll tell you my little story to go with it, but I got a Markwood Viper violin, but I ordered it, but I was playing the last play at Shea with Billy Joel,
Yeah.
and Mark was on the job, so he delivered me my electric violin, backstage before we played at Shea Stadium. So it was really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's talk about that because that was a pivotal moment in your career. What happened and why was that a pivotal moment?
Uh, it was maybe the most exciting show I've ever played. So it was Shea Stadium, 55,000 screaming people. You can't even hear your own music in your ears. It was so exciting. And I was so sad because part of me was like, wow, I could fall off the stage and no one would notice I was gone. And so then I realized, oh, wow, you actually have something to say and you want to say something and not just be in a section. It's fun
Yeah.
to be in a section, it's fun to be in a band, but also you have to bend to everything that's happening there to fit in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have my own voice, and that's when I really realized um, that I really did want to be a solo artist as well.
See, I love that because that takes so much courage because you could easily coast. You're playing with all these major world-renowned musicians, and you're like, I could just be on stage, get my paycheck, and just go home and relax. Instead, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna try and make it on my own. I love the fact that you did that.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, it was what's more stressful for you to be up there alone, spotlight, or backing a world-renowned musician saying, "I don't want to mess up. Please, I need to make this. I want to make him proud. I want to make her proud. I want to be there." So, like, what's more stressful for you?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. So obviously, when you're working with a famous artist, you don't want to mess up. So
Yeah,
there it is a lot. It is a lot, and you have to put it down the way they ask you, and fill that role. Um, I find when I'm doing my own stuff, I want people to like it, so it's stressful that way, but I am having a lot more fun and it's a lot looser because it's my show. I get
yeah,
to make the rules.
yeah.
So I think it's more stressful to play for someone else.
Well, there's two people I want to ask you about because there's two of my favorite musicians. Barry Manilow and Paul McCartney. They just seem like two of the most down to earth, nicest, most talented people. Did you have a great experience with those two?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And Paul McCartney, I could speak for more because he did the last play at Shea. He was a special guest, so
Yep.
that we weren't told. Billy Joel kept it a secret.
Ah.
Apparently, it was hard to get Paul McCartney there. They had to helicopter him, and he had a police escort to even get there. And then when he said, "Welcome to the stage, Paul McCartney," I needed Depends. I almost peed my pants. I was like, I'm on stage at Shea Stadium with a Beatle. Like,
Wow.
okay, we're done. Time to retire. I was like, where do you go from here? But he talked to everyone in the orchestra and the band. He's so friendly. But he also lives way out in Long Island, and he's known for coming out and talking to people and sitting in the square and having coffee. And he just really likes people and likes to be out and just is a down to earth, really nice guy. And Barry Manilow, I played for in the orchestra. I didn't have a lot of personal interaction with him. It was like rehearse, get on stage. But the way things were run were very kind, and you see him in the hallway, he's very friendly. So there was nothing, I mean, he's got a well-oiled ship there.
Oh, yeah. So was for actually, well, I know Billy Joel or Paul McCartney played with him during the Billy Joel concert. For Manilow, was it one of the more recent tours or was it a past tour?
No, it was a pastor.
Okay, because I saw him. Well, I mean, I've seen him probably like 5 or 6 times. Several times at Radio City Music Hall. Several times
Oh
at
my
Connecticut. I
God.
just saw him in Rhode Island. He is. I just saw him most recently, and like last spring, I think it was, and he still puts on a phenomenal show. He's hilarious. Well, just like Paul McCartney, they're. I mean, they can't move like they used to, but they make fun of it. They have fun with it. Like Barry Manilow start dancing. Oh, my hip. Like but Paul McCartney, I saw him at Fenway Park in Boston. He did 3 hours, over 35 songs, played everything. He had a story about and it's funny because like you hear these bands like, oh, I don't want to play these songs. I'm sick of playing these songs. Watching him play all these Beatles songs, it seemed like he was having so much fun. It was almost like the first time he was playing it, and he enjoyed every second of it. I loved it. It was infectious.
have to tell you the stamina it takes to play 3 hours like that. Even Billy Joel also gave
Yeah.
110%. Like I thought, how is this guy doing this? Like his songs are so intense, and he gave an incredible show, several hours. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So after the Billy Joel concert, which I think is funny because that was the show where you said, "I'm on stage with a Beatle. I can't top this, and also I want to make it on my own." So basically, there you said, "I'm going to do that." So after that show, what was the next step that you took?
Uh, Trying to basically find my sound. So I had never been a songwriter before, so I had a lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
But basically, I started collaborating with Rob Tomorrow,
Mhm.
and he helped me get together the first album, which is an instrumental called Planet Z, featuring Susan Aquila,
Wow.
which is not on my Spotify thing for some reason. It's on its own artist. So look up Planet Z, and it's a fusion rock thing. It's definitely a fusion jazz rock thing, and it was my first time really laying down some hard stuff like that.
Which is funny because, as I mentioned, you're a violinist, electric violinist, but you were not originally a singer. How did that come about?
No, and I had never thought about it either. And then it ends up being something I really love doing. So my manager said, "Hey, this is great. I love the instrumental thing. There's a ceiling with that. There's only certain niches you can play if you're just an instrumental artist. Do you sing a little?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so there came the process. When I first did the first album, after Planet Z, I didn't know if I could sing. I just went in the studio and just tried it. It was just
Wow.
like that. And then after that, I started taking lessons. I just didn't want to overthink it right
Yeah.
away. Let me see what happens naturally, and then I'll start learning how it's really done.
What did you learn from taking lessons? Like how to breathe through your diaphragm? Was that the biggest lesson?
More placement.
Okay.
Um, so you don't want to actually strain from your throat. You're either placing what they call in the mask up front, or placing more in the back of your mouth. Sometimes a head placement or a chest placement. So it's where you're placing your voice, so you're not straining your vocal cords. And that, and especially all the rock screams, that's actually an illusion. So it's more like a ah than actually screaming. And that I was glad to learn that one, because then I could do several nights in a row without losing my voice.
Right. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, as I mentioned years ago, I was in metal bands, and I would kill my voice just for practice. I'd be like, and then by the end of the practice, like,
Metal's harder because I started more in metal and then got lighter with
yeah,
each album, but you can't help it because the fans are screaming so loud, and then you just try to power through it. But you have to realize you do have a microphone, so you don't need to actually.
right.
But it's hard to not emotionally get carried away.
Well, it's funny because like, I mean, I was on. I think the biggest show I ever did was in front of 700 people. There was a big festival. One of our friends died in Connecticut, and he was a big part of the metal scene. So all the bands got together, and just the energy from those 700 people just made me want to like, ah! So I can't imagine being in front of 55,000 people, all screaming, yelling, cheering. It's just that I know from personal, just 700 people. So I can imagine like when you're seeing that and they'll get the instant gratification back to you.
Yeah, it's indescribable. It really is. But I see why you see these older artists that keep touring and touring and touring. I have suspect it's for that, because it's just like a drug. It is so wonderful to be out there and to share your music, but it's really the reason we play live is to interact with the audience.
Hmm.
That's to me the most important thing.
Well, it's funny you say that because like when people say, "Well, why are they still touring?" I say exactly the same thing. I have to give kudos to the Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger is still strutting on stage. I don't know how old he is now.
He's got to be 80.
At least, yeah. And
He's
he's
amazing. Yeah.
and I love it. And I said, and Paul McCartney, I think, just turned 80 or was about to turn 80 the day that I saw him. He was talking about, and the fact that what I love too is because he plays everything that everybody wants to hear. But then he goes, I always know when I'm playing a new song and what people think because all of a sudden all the lighters or all the phones go down and it sort of looks like a big black hole. He goes, you know what? I really don't care. I'm going to play a song for me. And then he played a couple new songs. Then he went right back into the old classics. So he did a little bit for himself, and then things everybody wanted to hear. It was such a fun show. And I love the fact he had a video of John Lennon on stage on the big screen, and he sang a song with him. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful. Wow, that's wonderful.
yeah. But for you though, I want to talk about because of speaking of talent singing. I mean, I've seen most of your videos, or no, I've seen probably all the videos. Listened through everything on the playlist, but you do a great version. It's an a cappella cover song called Hallelujah. The vocals on
Oh,
that,
oh, you like that
I
one?
do.
Yeah, it was I was learning how to put all the little boxes together and to accompany myself. I was just, as an unfortunately or fortunately for some people, as an artist, social media is really important, and uh, you have to learn how to do these things or keep paying people to do these things for you. And so that was really just experiment. I love the song so much, and no one's seen that side of my vocal. I mean, that's really my natural voice. The rock is really
Yeah.
to add a lot more oomph to it. But that was that's what I naturally sound like. So I wanted to do something a little more subdued. But I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, no, I did. I loved it. Like I said, I loved the like how many different genres you're great at. Like as I mentioned, from Mozart to Bollywood to rock to Ozzy, Metallica. Is there any genre that you have not played that you want to incorporate into maybe some of your newer tunes?
Yes. So I am not schooled in Latin music.
Ah,
Love it a lot. But I am studying it. I am studying all the different claves, and I'm learning more about it because I would like to add that type of rhythm, that
yeah,
type of groove to some songs. So
that would be great. I very recently, last August, I went on a cruise to Honduras, Belize, Mexico, and Bahamas, and they had all these different bands, and there was a couple, and they did all Latin music. It was so much fun. I love all the dancing and the energy, the music. Yeah,
exactly the energy. It's that's what I'm all about. Groove, the groove and energy. So yeah, it's fun. You can't help it. You have to get up and move.
yeah, no, definitely. That's why it kills me when I see people at a show just sitting there like this. Like, how can you not be getting into it? I need to be up dancing around and just like I. It's funny because I interviewed one of the bands that was on the cruise, and they were talking like I never saw a reaction to the music than I got from you. I don't think I ever will get a reaction to you because I just like when I see, I just start going crazy. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun, and everybody's like, oh. I had people follow me around. I didn't realize until the end of the cruise. Like, I just want to say thank you. I said, for what? Just, we had so much fun just watching you. I said, when did you see me? Oh, every time I saw you go into another room, I said, I know it's going to be a good time because I just like you, it was like with the music, and I just cannot get into it.
And it really helps the performers. Actually, it really does.
Yeah.
Because we see the people just sitting there not moving either. And some people, that's what they want to do. They do want to sit like they're in the movie theater and just watch the concert. So I'm not poo-pooing them, but it is nice to see a reaction when you're playing, a good reaction when you're playing.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It's funny because my girlfriend is a lot more conservative when it comes to anything like that. She's like, "Oh no, they're gonna get mad." And then finally, like she realized after, like the bands would come up to me after the show, like during intermission, like, "I want to thank you. You're the only one getting into it, and we really appreciate that." Because they for exactly what you just said, they're like, "I can't stand when people just stand there." I mean, we appreciate them coming, but it's just it's more fun when you see the audience getting into it. And then she realized, like, "Oh, people actually like seeing that." And I said,
Yeah.
and I know from being on the other side of the stage, it's the same way for me. When people are just sitting there going, it's like,
Yeah.
so I definitely appreciate both sides of the spectrum of that one.
I think sometimes people don't realize that you can see them. Like, I can see you. Yeah, I know you don't. So
Yeah.
uh, it's
Well, I
all
want to
about,
talk, what was it? I
it's
want to
all
talk
about,
about,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, it was all about what?
The interaction again, but I love to have the interaction with the audience.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, that's to me what makes it more fun. Sometimes bands will just want to like, oh no, I gotta be perfect. I can't really mess up. It's like I'd rather see a band more raw on stage and having fun, dancing around, getting the audience into it, than like, oh no, we gotta be technically correct. And it's not as fun. I can stay home and listen to the album if I want.
Good point. Very good point.
Well, I want to talk about your music. As we mentioned, you became an independent artist. Let's talk about the struggles of being an independent artist. What's the biggest struggle for you, or at least maybe when you first started out?
The biggest struggle is getting your material out.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, first of all, coming into 2026, nobody knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, even the record labels don't know, but they put a lot of money behind PR. And if you're an independent artist, you don't have that option. So, I mean, it's expensive for us to record. It's expensive for us to make videos. It's expensive for us to, put shows together. I have a colleague, when I was first putting my shows out, I was like, well, every time I play a show, I lose 2 grand. And he goes, yeah, that's about right.
Oh my
So,
God.
like, and then it's like, wow, this is supposed to be a business. It's supposed to, at some point, it does turn around at some point, but when you're starting, you are dumping a lot of money into it, and you don't know if you're going to see anything come of it. So that's a struggle.
Yeah. Well, also plus now streaming, I think, just killed the money for maybe like most of the bands. I think all the bands now get their money from touring and selling the merchandise at the shows. Before, like you can becoming a Grammy winning artist, like you sold millions of records. It's like those days are over. Like, how much do you actually get for streaming on Spotify? Like a couple cents each song?
Oh, I think it's less than that.
Oh,
It's yeah, like 0.04.
oh man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do bash Spotify, and I understand why, I get it, but also we never had a platform before to just get our music out there and have the chance of someone listening to it. So yeah, it did, you're right, it did kill us financially, but I try to look at the positive. I mean, you can put your stuff on all these digital mediums and have a shot at someone seeing it.
I'm so glad you said that because that's exactly what I said years ago about Napster, the first one, where people were, I said, you know what? There's a lot of bands I heard that I would never even think of listening to. So what I do is I hear a band on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, and I'm like, you know what? When they come around here, I'm going to see them live and I'm going to buy something from them. So like bands I probably would never even know existed. Now I know who they are and I like them and I tell my friends about them. And then when they come in the area, I'm like, you got to see Susan. She's the best. So it is. I agree with you that like it's definitely maybe you're not making money up front, but you're getting a lot more people that you're a lot more visible, to a lot more people than maybe in the past of if you just sold albums back in like the 70s and 80s, like it was back then.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a little positive side to it. I mean, I get what everyone's saying, but it everyone's getting so angry about it, and I get it. But also now it is a tool that we never had before, and I'm gonna use it as a tool.
I interviewed Andrew Hagar, Sammy Hagar's son, and he was telling me he's also a musician. He was saying what he didn't like was he goes, I just want to write a full album, go on tour for like a year and a half, have all these life experiences, come back and write another album. He goes, but these streaming services want him to write a single every maybe once a month because they don't want people to forget about him. Do you have that same kind of problem, or are they more lenient with you? Okay.
Absolutely. First of all, nobody listens to a full album anymore,
Yeah.
which is so sad because I heard songs I would never listen to because they were in between cuts on an album that I wanted to listen to, and then I would fall in love with them. Uh, so we do have to put out singles, and then I was instructed the same thing, like every couple of months you should have a new single, and that's a hard schedule to keep up. I tried this year. I didn't get that many out, but I got three things out. And this year I'm going to do a little better. I've
All
already
right.
got it planned.
Well, let's talk about some of these singles. Now, was I took it for me. Was that from this last year? Was that last
Yeah.
year? All right. So I want to talk about that because that's a very important song. What is that song about and how did it come about?
Okay, well, I'm going to dish a little dirt without naming names. All right.
All right.
The album before, the self-titled Susan Aquila album, I worked with a particular person
Hmm?
um, who proceeded to try to take over my entire life and my band, which is called Susan Aquila, by the way, and just get so involved in every area of my life that I couldn't breathe anymore.
Hmm.
And it was toxic and unhealthy, and it was a horrible, I was sick of it. And when I finally got the guts to end this working relationship, the person tried to sue me.
Oh my God.
And there was nothing, this was a project that was so toxic, it made no money. And, I thought this person just keeps wanting to hurt me because no matter if there's a frivolous lawsuit or not, you still have to pay a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I was, first of all, I was mad at myself for allowing this infiltration of somebody and letting them in my whole life and control my whole life. But I took it for me was me taking my life back. And even though that person made my life miserable for leaving and firing him, I eventually broke free and am a stronger person because of it. Because that will never happen to me again.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about that because you made a comment where, let me see, it's not very, you were such a people pleaser that it resulted in many recordings not representing your artistic vision.
Wow, you did your homework. Yes,
I really did.
exactly what I said.
So I'm guessing that's not the case anymore. You
Correct.
know who you are. You're confident in who you are, and you're like, this is how it's going to sound. So was it like these record companies at the time saying, "Oh no, you got to do this. This is the way you're going to be popular. The way you're doing it. It's not going to work." Is that what happened to you?
It was labels. It was also, it took me a while to really be confident in writing songs. So I would always collaborate with someone. And then it's funny, in music, it's very hard to describe what you want. And so I wouldn't say there, it's not coming from a place of harm, but they think they know what you want, and then they create this song, and then you're looking at it and you're like, that's not what I wanted, but this person put all this work in,
Yeah.
and now I feel compelled to release it. And so I had a lot of that where it's that's not exactly what I wanted. That happens a lot in music videos too. Everyone's really proud. Look what we did, and then I was like, that's not really what I asked for. Or so now I'm learning how to just take charge and do it myself. Again, just like with the Hallelujah, learning how to
Yep.
handle the the tools to make your own video and make your own.
Well, I don't know if you were trying to say that, but in the video for I Took It From Me, it's just you and your dog. Basically, I don't need anybody but my dog. That's all I need in life.
Well, definitely when I wrote that song. Yeah, 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 yeah. We all need people in our lives, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, of just having confidence in yourself and learning to value yourself
Hmm.
and not have to kowtow to people because they think what they did is great.
Did you ever have a time when the record company said, "We want this to be the single," and you're like, "Nah, I don't want that to be the single." And how did you get over that?
Um, I'm an independent artist now, but when I was signed, I pretty much try to do what the label said. But it was interesting though, the album I did for 26 Records, the they signed me as a violinist, electric violinist, but what I gave them was a rock album, and they were like, "What we asked for, there's hardly any violin on this album." And I was like, "Ah, I just, you know, I wish they were more clear about that." But
Yeah.
yeah, but then what happens is they don't back it. So okay, this is not what we asked for, so we're not gonna back it.
Oh, really?
They
So,
don't say it, but nothing happens. So
yeah.
you get the hint, you get the point.
Yeah. So being an independent artist, at least you have a lot more freedom and you can record it the way you want, do it the way you want. And it's funny because I want to talk about this because a friend of mine who's been a drummer for years, it's funny, his bands used to play with my bands back in the 80s, and now he just joined the band Tantric.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh, I opened for Tantric on. I
yeah, I
love
knew
that.
that. That's what I was leading up to. So I want to talk about your connection with that band.
Okay, so that was when I just formed my band, so we wanted to get out and we wanted to play out.
Mhm.
And we had the opportunity. I think it was a pay to
Yeah.
play to open for Tantric for a bunch of shows up and down the East Coast. I think we started up in Maine and went all the way down to Florida. And we opened for them, and they were fabulous.
Mhm.
I mean, we had so much fun. It was maybe one of the best tours, the most fun tours I've ever done.
I can't. I've never seen them live. I've heard them obviously, but they're having a show. I'm not sure if you know Toad's Place. It's in Connecticut.
Yeah, I got
It's a world famous club, and everybody's played there. Like I'm thinking, like Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Rolling Stones, all these bands on their way up. So my friend who's the drummer, he always has his birthday party there, and since he's the drummer of the band, they're going to be headlining this. So I'm going to have a chance to check them out finally.
Oh, good, good. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen the videos like on YouTube and things like that, and I love the music. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them live.
Yeah, and Hugo, right? Hugo Ferreira, right? Is the yeah.
I think so. Yeah, the new drummer now, which he wasn't in the band when you toured with them, is Christian Lawrence. But he was in the. I don't know if you like punk at all or
Yeah,
hardcore,
yeah.
right? Cro-Mags. He was in the Cro-Mags most recently, and then something happened between him and Harley, and then now he's in Tantric. But so
It's a good job. Tantric tours all year round,
yeah,
year after year. They work a lot.
yeah. And unfortunately, as we mentioned, it's like that's really what bands have to do now because it's just sitting there waiting for the the receipts to come in from all the record sales that are going to happen.
Right. So true. It's so true. You know, they even try to when whichever either myself touring or whoever I'm touring with, um, they hate when you have a night off because they're losing money. They have to pay for your rooms, they have to pay for your food, and so if you have a night off, they're losing money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they gotta keep you on stage.
One person, I'm not sure. The reason I'm thinking this is because I just saw the movie Song Song Blue. It's about the Neil Diamond tribute band. I don't know if you've heard of it. It
I
just came out.
trailers, was it good?
Really good. Is
Okay.
it, but what made me think of that is I am a huge Neil Diamond fan. So I'm doing my research. I didn't see your name connected to him at all. Did you ever have a chance to meet him or play with him?
No, sadly, no.
Yeah, because
But I've seen the trailers for that. I was thinking about watching it now. I'll definitely, on your recommendation.
I'm telling you, I would not steer you wrong. It's and I actually it's funny because I love doing this. I always love watching the movie and then going home and watching the documentary of what really happened. A lot of what happened, but they're the people really. I mean, he's not. They're not exactly Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, if you know what I mean. But pretty much everything that in the movie did happen the way it did. It was really good.
Oh, good. I like look forward to it. I like to watch movies like that, musical movies.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Well, definitely put a couple hours aside and get some popcorn and enjoy. I want to talk about, let's see, what your writing process is like. Because I mean, do you prefer to write alone or do you get the band together and say, let's collaborate?
Uh, it's different. It's almost different every time. I do like to collaborate because there's things that I'm weak on. So I usually start as a violinist. I usually start with a melody. The melody always comes first and comes easy.
Yeah.
And I'll start to fit the lyrics. But for me, it's harder to decide the groove and the chords and which chords are better. So it's always good for me to work with somebody who I can learn from, who has fresh ideas. So that's pretty much how that's happening. I'm actually have a song we hope is coming out in March where I had the producer actually wrote the whole thing for me, and it's sensational. So sometimes I'll sometimes I will let someone else do it, even though but it has to really resonate with me.
Let's talk about, and right now as I'm recording this, it's the beginning of January. I want to talk about that Christmas song. I love that Christmas song. You know, it's funny because all the Christmas songs are basically all the same. Like, I love Johnny Mathis, I love Gene Autry, but they're just doing like more of like their version of a classic song. You took a Christmas song, made it your own, and that's why that one and Paul McCartney are my two favorite Christmas songs.
Wow! Oh my God, I'm beyond honored and stoked about that. That's so nice to hear. You know, for a long time I kept saying there needs to be a punk Christmas song. Why don't we have a punk Christmas? Why doesn't anyone put a new Christmas song out? And it just took years to go there. But Joe Church produced it, and those lyrics are his, and they're hysterical. I mean, they're just hysterically funny. And then the punk thing is me. I definitely wanted a punk rock.
Yeah. Well, I love all the double entendres. That's what made it so much fun.
They're so great. I never laugh. I laughed so hard I could barely record it. To say those lyrics, to sing those lyrics. Like yeah, we had a lot of fun with it, and it's just silly and meant to be irreverent, and not a nice Christmas song, but it's still very funny.
No, it's fun. It's a great song. Like I said, that and simply having a wonderful Christmas time. It's because he did the same thing. It's like he didn't just play "Oh Holy Night." He's like, I'm gonna make up my own song, and I love the fact that you two did that. And it's just like I said, I was laughing, I was rocking, I was just
Oh,
it was great.
that makes me so happy. I can't even tell you.
Oh yeah, and that's why. 'Cause I only saw the video that has the sing along. Do you have another video, or did I see everything?
I don't, but I'm thinking about doing
Yeah,
one. I think maybe this year it should have a video.
I think
So
it needs one.
I think we came up with so many ideas that we didn't even know where to begin, because it could be so funny to act out those words, and then it just became overwhelming. But I think this is the year it should have a video.
How long does it normally take you to? I mean, I'm sure it's different for each song, but do you just say, you know what, I'm gonna try and write from this time to this time, or do you only write when inspired?
I try to put it on a schedule.
Yeah,
And I think that's my classical background. We were just taught to practice every day.
yes,
Um, and then, I mean, because it's a muscle, you have to exercise it like anything else. You get better only by doing it. So, but then when I get inspired, that's great because it moves faster.
yeah. So another question I have for you regarding the collaborating is I've talked to so many bands and I've read interviews with other bands too, because a lot of now with the way things like you and I are recording right now, you're in LA, I'm in Connecticut, and bands, not every band member lives in the same area code, so they'll say the guitar player will write one part, then he'll hand it to a drummer, they'll write their part. To me, I think something's lost in the creative process. Do you get the whole band together and collaborate when you are collaborating, or do you record like I just discussed?
No, it gets written completely from A to Z first.
Yep.
Everyone gets a demo, they learn it, and then we get together and hear what it sounds like, and then it can morph from there. You have to hear it live. You have to hear the energy of it. You have to feel it, which I agree with you. That's what gets lost. You're not able to feel it as much, and you don't have the camaraderie with your bandmates.
Yeah, see, exactly. And that's what so I remember, like, for going back to like the little band I was in. It's like we used to get together and just practice, and we'd have somebody like, oh wait, you know what? Try this. Wait, then we'd be playing something like, wait, no, let's add this. Let's try this, and then we just come up with all these different parts that probably wouldn't have existed if we just said, all right, I'm done. Here's the lyrics. We hand it over to you, the guitar player. So I love the fact that when everybody gets together and just when it morphs into a song and they're all part of the process.
Yeah, I always feel like when I start something, okay, here it is, and then all the people come together and it becomes greater than anything I could have imagined, because everyone's putting their stamp on it, and it's changing and growing, and it turns into something I never thought it would be, and and always better.
And
I
even yeah, no, I love it. You know, but I was going to say, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say, I love your positivity, and that's everything I've seen of you in interviews, on Facebook, even now during interviews. Like, what a positive person you are. And I love your attitude. You said your biggest lesson is for perseverance. You learn from failure, you get up again, you reinvent yourself, and start over. So it's like you just never give up.
never give up, and you can reinvent yourself every day. Like there's no rules. That you have no rules unless you make them for yourself. But yeah, it's okay, and it's okay to fail. I mean, what is it? Okay, so something sucked. Okay, move on, learn from it, move on. Um, so yeah, I still believe that way.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying like over the years I've been in metal bands. I wrote a self-published book. I did stand-up comedy. I did motivational speaking. Now I'm doing the radio show. I was in radio for a while, but I just whenever I was, especially when I was doing the motivational speaking, I would say The one thing that I always said was I would never say the word no. I said, you know what, somebody asked me to do something, like, let's try it. If I fail, I just get up and try something new. And a lot of times when I did fail, that opened up a door for something else that I never even knew existed. I never would have even known that was there. And I said, wow, because that led to some acting in movies, and which led to other things. So because of that, if I didn't try it and fail, and to me, I don't know, I have thick skin, like all the different things I mentioned. People are either going to love you or hate you, and if they don't like me, I always say get out of the way because there's plenty of people that do. And I'm not. I hate to say it but people's opinions don't really matter to me. Like, where I'm not gonna like change my whole life because somebody goes, I don't like that. I'm like, you know what? Well, maybe it's not for you, but there's plenty of other people that do.
You are- Well said, but I do like what you said. Like when you try something and it fails, you're right. It could open the door for something else that you didn't even know you could do well, or that you didn't even know you would like to do and enjoy. So that happens a lot. That happens a lot. I do not have as thick a skin as you. When somebody says something not so nice, I might cry for a couple of minutes, but then I pick myself up and right back where I was.
Yeah.
So
Well, personally, I cannot imagine anybody saying anything negative about you at all. I mean, you're playing, and it doesn't even matter. You're not even the success, because I mean, but just the fact that you're an extremely nice person, you're extremely talented. What's not to like about Susan Aquila?
hey, everybody has their haters.
Oh yeah, no, unfortunately, I know that as well too. But well, I think we discussed this, but maybe we can go a little bit deeper into it. It's like I want to talk about how your desire for self-expression fueled your need to work on your own music. So that was the Billy Joel thing for the most part, right? Where you just said, I need to do my own thing.
My own voice. Yeah, and I think I was also feeling a little bit of that frustration in an orchestra. As much as I love orchestral playing,
Yeah,
so great to be part of this large group making this huge sound, but you're still, is the expression a cog in the wheel? You're still this. And
yeah.
so I was definitely yearning to have my own voice. I definitely was, and had a lot to say. So,
Yeah. So the name of the band is called the Susan Aquila Project.
that's what I'm calling it right now. Yeah.
Love it. And all right, so you mentioned these are some of the videos that I've seen, and I love it. So I took it from me, Nowhere. I want to make it with Santa. Things you make me do. Now this one was called Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee. The only other, when I was trying to get some information from that, I see Nuno Betancourt playing that.
Right. So I adapted his solo that he wrote,
Yeah,
and I did it on electric violin. And then here's a great example of a video kind of not turning out the way you wanted. I asked for an Alice in Wonderland kind of video, and I got, like, I told the makeup artist, you do whatever you want, and I ended up looking like some kind of monster, and it ended up being this really creepy, crazy video, and which I just laugh about. I refuse to take it down because it's just so crazy. Um, and I'm just let it be there. It's really dark, crazy video that I wasn't intending to do. So there you go.
and which video is that? That's the Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna watch it again because I did see it. Now that you mentioned it, I'm gonna watch it with it.
Insane. It's an insane video. It's not, I am not attractive, and I wasn't trying to be that attractive, but like it's ugly, and it's an ugly video, and it's a twisted song,
Yeah,
so it's a twisted
yeah,
it's a
exactly.
song, but it's a twisted piece of music, so I went with it.
Let's just say it was meant to be like that. You did that intentionally. That's what we're sticking with.
Yeah, I meant to do that.
Um, I was watching a promo video. I'm not sure if exactly this is true, but I could picture her doing this because I've been watching a documentary on Taylor Swift, and she seems like such a down-to-earth, nice person. But she was wearing a shirt quoting says Susan Aquila is one badass bitch, and then you're like right back at you. Was she actually? Is that real?
No, I think somebody made that, and not
Oh,
even on my team. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah, no, I didn't. I can't believe it's out. I
yeah.
think I'm not even sure that would be a legal thing, but I didn't do it, so don't. I didn't do it.
So far, I'm getting you in trouble for so many
I know,
things
right?
here. It's like, I don't know if this is exactly legal, but like, once again, nothing to see here. Keep moving. Just have to put disclaimers on this.
Yeah, I think that was an AI thing. I'm sure it's an AI thing, and I'm not behind it.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure. So I was trying to look up and see how authentic it was. I couldn't find anything that said that you two were affiliated, but I said you never know because I said,
Well, I would love to work with her someday.
oh my God,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
For the
she,
same reasons you said, she seems this amazing person and musician.
yeah, and she puts on a hell of a show. I didn't see it live, as well, watch the movie of the concert, and she just and during the documentary it shows her getting ready for it, like all the work and preparation that she puts into. And I love the fact, so I have so much respect for her because just like you, she writes all her own songs, plays all the instruments, and I mean, so many other bands they'll have somebody write the songs for them, and just the fact that she does all of that herself is so impressive.
Yeah, yeah. She's something. She's a force of nature.
Yeah. Yep. Uh,
Respect.
I want to talk about the power of music and your desire to bring music back into the schools. Why is it so important to you?
Um, one of the biggest reasons is had I not been exposed to music in school, I would not be a musician today.
Mhm.
I can't, again, I came from a family that was not musical. I just wouldn't have been exposed to it. And music is so healing in so many ways that we don't even think about. But you're upset about something, you turn on your favorite song, you feel better in 5 minutes. Uh,
Hmm.
Sometimes you want to cry, put on some, really
Yeah.
sad song, cry, feel better. Um, Also, the physicality of playing an instrument is apparently really great for brain neuro connections, and so it's physically good for kids to play. But mostly, I think people aren't exposed to real musicians anymore, and
Yeah.
playing real instruments. And uh, if you learn an instrument, even if you don't go on with it, you know what it takes to play an instrument, so you can appreciate it when you're seeing someone on stage playing.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely. I agree.
yeah.
I love that. And I love, like what you said about the power of music because, like, when somebody's going through a difficult time, every song they turn on the radio reminds them of that time. And that song was written for me. That's exactly how I feel. It's like, it doesn't matter what song they're listening to. They could be listening to Slayer, Rain and Blood. That's exactly how I feel.
I love
Me
Slayer.
too.
Mozart and Slayer, yeah.
That would be the ultimate combination. You playing with Slayer. I would love to see that.
I right. I would love to play with Slayer. That would be awesome.
On in the south of heaven.
Oh, that's
So,
perfect.
I'm guessing the time you played with Metallica was when they came out with that double album of the yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
That must have been a fun tour. Like what year was that? Was in the '90s? I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I promise you, I'm not even talking about your age. I'm just trying to get the timeline on this. I'm not digging deep. I'm not Barbara Walters. I promise. I'm not gonna make you cry. Uh, did you have a good experience on that tour?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't. I don't think there's many tours that I haven't had a good experience on. Even when things go wrong, and they can go horribly wrong, but they
Yeah.
end up being the best stories later on, and you end up laughing about it later. So, and the things you remember. So, yeah, I enjoy the whole process. I enjoy the traveling. I enjoy seeing the different cities, meeting different people. I love the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I would love it. Do you get, I mean, when you're on tour, do you get, I mean, I'm guessing since the show is at night, you do get a chance to travel around and visit sites of where you are. It's not like you're just going from place to place and like setting up, playing and going. Do you have a chance to actually enjoy it?
Depends on the tour, because
Oh,
sometimes you do only see the inside of the arena and the bus.
okay.
I have had that happen. But like when I toured with Joe Jackson, he was wonderful. He would play for 3 or 4 nights, and then he would, to rest his voice, he would always like to take 2 days off. And so then we would have 2 days off. But his tour worked where you sleep on the bus all night. So you do your traveling while you're sleeping, and then you had all day in the new city.
I love that.
Some bands travel during the day, and then you play your show at night, and so you only get to see things when you have a day off. So it's different with every band does it differently.
So because when you're playing with these big bands like that, like how many, like are you on a tour bus with just the musicians, or you get to actually be with, let's say, are you like on the same tour bus as Billy Joel, as Paul McCartney, or are you in another tour bus with like all the musicians that you're playing with?
It's different for everything because if it's a small group, they'll keep it on one bus. So yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be with the artist. But most of the time, like it's split up. It's usually, the core band will be in one bus, and then the artist will be in another bus with whoever he wants to, whatever part of his team he needs. He's got management. But the buses always travel together. You always end up in the same places together.
Do you have a favorite place that you've played right now? I mean, I know you played so many different places, and is there one in particular, not even the best show, but just like a country that you went to and said, "Oh my God, this is the best."
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of countries I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
I did love Paris. I
Oh, that would be
really
great.
Paris. The audiences in Germany are extremely warm and receptive. I loved Europe, Amsterdam. Uh, my favorite venues are still Madison Square Garden,
Hmm.
Radio City. Uh, yeah, it's still. I like the big arena. I like to have a huge stage to run around.
Yeah.
Prefer that if I have the option. But yeah.
But I'm sure, because I ask people this too, and they get different answers. Some even the bigger artists love the intimacy of the small clubs too, because when they're on the big stage, you really can't chance to like interact. You can interact with the audience, but like you're not there with them. And do you do you also like that too, like playing the small clubs and you're like right there with your audience?
Are they're also fun for different reasons.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, definitely there's the closeness,
Hmm.
and you can actually pick out individuals and play for them, literally play for them. I often like to walk out into the
Yeah.
like that and play. Uh, so yeah, I do like it's a different feeling. Um, when you have a huge crowd, yeah, you don't see them all, but you feel them.
Hmm. Oh,
The
yeah, well,
energy,
you could hear them, 55,000 people screaming. Yeah, you definitely can feel that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can imagine.
feel it.
I wanted to go back to I'm not sure if he was doing this when you were touring with him, but we talked about how important music is in the schools. When I saw Barry Manilow, like the last two or three tours, he would pick a teacher from like I guess like the local schools, and the students would vote who was their favorite teacher, and then he would give like I don't know how much money to the music department so they could buy
Wow,
instruments and everything. I saw like I want to say like the last three tours I saw him do that,
wow.
because he said exactly what you said. He goes, music is so important. It's because of that growing up is what made me where I am today. I couldn't have done it without the school system, and I appreciate you so much. So I love the fact that you have that same
Yeah,
feeling about that.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, if I didn't have violin handed to me, I'm not. I would have never had music in my life. It really is true.
Yep. And do you know, I'm sure we talked about different shows in the 70s. The TV show My Three Sons, you remember that one?
Oh yeah,
All
da,
right.
da, da, da,
Da,
right?
da, 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 da. You gotta do a rock version of that one. Da, 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 da.
We're old.
But I interviewed Tina Cole, who played Katie, Robbie's wife, and she said that I mean, I don't know if you know her story, but she has a musical family. Yeah, sure. I can't remember the name of the group, but her whole family was very famous playing music, and they toured the world. And then she sort of like she was on doing something, and then somebody saw her, and they did a screen test, and she became an actress. But she said that she now after during COVID they got rid of the music department. She was so worried that kids weren't going to have experience of getting music knowledge. And she actually became a teacher for the school so she can reinstate music back into the school area where she was. And she said exactly the same thing. So I love people like you and her and Barry Manilow who are like, you don't realize how important it is, because like I can't stand when people like when schools are like, oh, we have to get rid of recess, we have to get rid of music. Like, those are some of the most important things. I mean, you have to learn and get the knowledge with all the other subjects, but you also need the things that like that relaxed and also give you like make you like as we mentioned before more of an open-minded, broader person.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember algebra, but certainly listen to music. Like what? You, I think you're going to use your music more than a lot of your math skills. So now my math teachers are going to hate me now. Hate mail can go to you.
Exactly, Rich Sear, and just I will send the address. It'll be on. I'll send a link and you'll see it scrolling across the screen. I promise. Call me at area code 555-555-5555. Well, as I mentioned, you played with pretty much everybody. You're doing your own thing now. Is there any dream collaboration? I know you mentioned Taylor Swift as one. Is there any dream collaboration that you would love to perform with that you haven't yet?
I don't even know if this is possible, but I would love to play a show with Guns N' Roses,
Ah,
right?
that would
That
be.
would be incredible. And also I really like Lady Gaga,
Oh my
and
God, she is great.
she has used electric violinists in the past. I know her as an
Oh,
electric violinist, but she has such a cool stage show and such a high energy, fabulous stage show that I would love to experience that.
you want to know what's funny about her is I'm a huge fan of her. I'm actually a huge fan of Miley Cyrus too because I love the fact I love her music, but then she performs with Blondie, Billy Idol, all these different things, Joan Jett, and but with Lady Gaga, I forgot where it was. It was some award show. Let's say it was the Grammys. She was performing with Metallica, and James Hetfield's mic went off, and so
That's
she was
right.
like, "Yeah, I love this." She took over. She sang, started stage diving. I was like, I said, she's got to be the lead singer of Metallica. I love this.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't she do something with them though? Did they record something
They might have. I'm not sure about that, but I know
after
that.
that? But yeah, yeah. I heard. I mean, yeah, I heard. I saw it. I saw
Yeah,
that.
if they haven't recorded something yet, I think they should because that would be a great collaboration.
Yeah. How cool. Yeah.
So let's do this then. If you get on the Lady Gaga tour, put a good word in for me.
I will. You
She
know
could be on the show.
it. You know it.
Everybody's happy. So what's next for the Susan Aquila project?
Uh, More music. I'm planning to release a lot more music this year with more music videos, and hopefully get definitely be playing out. Right now, I'm scheduled to go out with the orchestra starring ELO, so we have quite a bit of touring. So it has to be in between touring, but I'm excited about that. I love that show. The
Yeah,
ELO show is love that music, and I'm ecstatic. I'm just ecstatic that they've invited me to come play.
yeah. If you don't know what she's talking about and you've not seen her live, go on YouTube or even like see her on Facebook. You are so much fun watching you live on stage, not only with ELO but with your own band and everything. It's like I love your energy. It's just like watching all your violin solos. You're jumping around, and you can tell the band loves it. The band is just sitting there enjoying every second of watching you.
It is just a thrill to be able to get to do that for a living.
All right. Are you when so I know you do your own music when in between that. Is there do you have a tour plan for your band?
Not yet, but I am hoping for the fall.
All right.
So if you don't mind, I'll get in contact with you and we can
No,
talk talk about it and get the word out.
I do not mind at all. I was actually going to ask you that anyway, so that's perfect. So the Susan Aquila Part 2 will be coming up sometime soon in the fall.
Right.
All right. So where can people find you?
Yes, it's best on Instagram, Susan Aquila Music, Facebook, Susan Aquila. I don't have a website right now, so I think social media is the best place to find me. People can message me, so I would say that was the best place for now. What do you think as a host with such a interesting background yourself, doing so many things? Does one need a website these days? I feel like Instagram functions as a website.
Exactly. I have a website and I don't even know how to access it. I'm not kidding. So no, there's I had somebody create it for me, and then I basically forgot about it. And I'm like, what exactly? How did she word it? It was like richseer.wordpress. And I said,
Oh
you know
my
what?
God.
Nobody even went to it. Nobody cared. So I'm the same thing. It's like, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. That's where I think most people will go straight to that now. I don't think websites really matter.
Yeah, and when I get hired to tour for these artists, after when I get hired, they say, "Oh yeah, we stalked your social media." Like they that's where they get a sense of who you are. So,
We know now that like your name has been out there and you've networked with so many people, but when you first started doing it, how did you get the attention of all these big name artists?
that was completely word of mouth. So
Ah,
I started with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they liked what I did. So then Josh Groban needed some violinists, and somebody remembered me and pitched me, and then they like you, so you keep working for them, and then it's completely word of mouth. There's no, I mean, sometimes I wish you could audition, but your audition is doing the job well.
yeah, no, exactly. And it's funny that you said that because I interviewed an actor. He's more of a character actor, but he was in a Martin Scorsese movie. Martin Scorsese just loved working with him because he's so easy to work with and he does his job well. So he puts him pretty much in every one of his movies now because like he goes, I just love having him around. And so it's similar to you. It's like you do a great job. You're easy to work with. You're fun, and then people remember that and they're like, you know what? We need an electric violinist or we need a violinist. What's Susan doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And don't be a pain in the ass. Rule number two:
Oh
play
yeah.
well. Don't be a pain in the ass.
Yep. Well, is there anything that we have not talked about that you want to discuss?
Um, uh, I don't think so. I think 2026, there's just going to be a lot more material out. So I encourage everyone to give me a listen, because it's very hard to get music out there.
Oh yeah. Well, Susan, it was so great having you on the show. I've been wanting to have you on the show for such a long time. I've been watching your videos for, I want to say for like the last year and a half or so since I've been friends with you on Facebook, and I said, she is phenomenal, and meeting you, it's like sometimes like when you meet people and you're disappointed. I was actually now even more impressed because I love your attitude, I love your personality, and I love everything you're doing out there. I will definitely be out there supporting the Susan Aquila project, letting everybody know that they got to see it.
Thank you, and you have VIP tickets to anything I'm doing when I'm in your area, okay? Or whenever if you're in my area.
Well, I'm in Connecticut, but I mean, I don't care about like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey. I will be there wherever you're.
Okay, yeah, but you've been just a delight. You have an infectious energy, so I love it. It is a delight meeting you, and thank you, thank you, thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, you are very welcome. Well, that wraps up the latest episode of the Claus Corner. A huge thanks goes out to violinist, electric violinist, and vocalist Susan Aquila for taking time out of her extremely busy schedule to be a guest on my show, and you can know how busy she is, so I really do appreciate it. I also need to thank editor extraordinaire John Bristol, the award-winning Elmwood Productions, for always doing a superb job editing this show each and every week and making it available to all on YouTube. I am also extremely grateful to Rob Bull and Dale Coles for all they do to make my show available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, as well as a cable station in Connecticut. And lastly, but definitely not least, I need to thank you, the viewer, for always tuning in. Enjoy your day, everyone.